Hey everybody, I'm Mama Baird and welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'm going to be doing some freezer prep. This is just oven's ready to go. I'm just going through my freezer. I recently got a big load of free freezer items from my friend. If you have not seen that video, I can link it below. But I'm pretty much trying to clear up some of my freezer and make some extra space because it is pretty crammed full right now. I'm not complaining. But I do want to make some breakfast meals. That seems to be my biggest struggle, is having something prepared and ready to go for breakfast, especially during the week. I am a get up early kind of girl, but I usually use my morning time to work on my channel stuff. And by the time it's time to get husband up and get everybody up and going, I'm like, breakfast. So I'm gonna go ahead and set myself up for success, get some items out of my freezer and get them set up so they are ready to go, and all I gotta do is heat them up. I have some English muffins with a couple of different proteins I'm gonna cook. I'm gonna be making some breakfast burritos. I'm also going to be throwing something in the crock pot for lunch, maybe dinner, we'll see. And I don't know, I got a lot of stuff going on today, so I thought I'd bring you guys along and we'll figure this out together. So let's get in here and I'll show you what my plan is. Hi, if you're new here, I'm Carolina and I live in Montana. I do a lot of food bank hauls, pantry cooking, and canning and preserving on my channel. If that's the kind of content you're into, I hope you'd consider subscribing. I would love to have you join my family. All right, let's get in here and make some breakfast goodies. I have a couple of packs here of Canadian bacon. I'm gonna make some English muffins with Canadian bacon, egg, and cheese on them. I have a couple of sausage patties here I'm gonna cook up, and I'm gonna put these on the cinnamon raisin English muffins. I think that sounds pretty good. So we're going to cook up those, and all of this I'm just gonna cook in the oven, get it going, and hopefully that'll do the trick. I also have some bacon I have thawed that I need to cook up. So we're gonna cook up all this bacon. Now I do have a lot of eggs from my chickens. My chickens are laying, so thank goodness I have them because I have about 4 dozen eggs. I'm not bragging, I swear. But I have about 4 dozen eggs that I need to use up, and that's what kind of inspired this breakfast meal prep. I do have this pack of the frozen egg white frittatas I got from my friend that I can't really see us heating up and eating these. I don't know, I'm not really a quiche, eat baked egg kind of person. But I think if I cut these up and add them into our breakfast burritos, it'll add a nice variety, a nice crunch, and it'll get these eggs used up and get this box out of my freezer. I also have some chorizo that I just have cooked and prepped ready in the fridge for anything I was going to use it for. I didn't really have a plan for it. I just wanted to get it cooked up before it went bad. So I think I'm going to make some chorizo breakfast burritos. I also have a thing of hash browns I'm going to cook and add some hash browns to the burritos, because I have some pretty big tortillas I'm going to be making these burritos in. So I want to make sure that they're pretty full and really hearty. I also have a couple of different cheeses. I got some pepper jack cheese and some garlic and herb cheese. So we'll be using these in some way. Pepper jack cheese, probably with the chorizo burritos. So that's kind of my rough plan. I got my coffee. You can tell it's been well used this morning. It's already got a dirty cup. Oh, and Yoda hair. Yoda's my cat. Always good to have some protein, right? Drink your hair. Okay. So, I also have some chicken and teriyaki meatballs that I have in my freezer that I got from the food bank. These are ones that they have from Costco. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put these in the crock pot with some peach salsa and get this going, and we'll kind of see what we're gonna make out of these. And then I have some peppers and onions diced. I figured I might cook some of this and add it to the burritos. I think that'll add some yummy flavors to it. Yeah, and that's all I got so far. So first thing I'm gonna do is get this in the crock pot. So let's head over to the crock pot. All right, I don't have a smaller crock pot, which is fine. I don't really want a smaller one, but this one's a little big for just one packet of meatballs. That's okay. So we're gonna put 1 pack of the chicken teriyaki meatballs in there. And then I have some home canned peach salsa. I can leave a link below to the video to this if you want to see how I made that. This is so good, especially for like eating. Ugh. But I'm gonna throw this in here and have it be the base and liquid to our meatballs. Let's give that a stir. Hopefully that was enough. Alright, so I'm gonna put this on low. Hopefully that'll be enough sauce. I'll be home to check on these meatballs to keep an eye on them. If I need to add some liquid in there, I will. The meatballs are in the crock pot. So what I'm gonna work on next is toasting up my English muffins. Oh, I also have some maple brown sugar bread here that I think I'm going to make some French toast. Yeah, it smells good. So this is a lot I'm trying to tackle for today. We'll see. So far, all the kids are feeling good. We got all of their homeschooling done for the day. They're chilling with their tablets and watching TV. So we'll see how that goes. I'm just gonna get these toasted a bit so that way whenever we reheat them, they're not gonna be super soggy. I'm just gonna give these a quick spray just to make sure they toast up. You can probably skip this step too and they'll toast up just fine. So I'm gonna put these in, let's do like 5 minutes. We'll check them. All right, next thing I'm gonna put in are these hash browns. Let's see. I'm going to spray my pan here. Because these, you do want some kind of oil. You could always like spread butter or bacon grease on here too. Because these you want crisp up. They do suggest you do these in a skillet. But I'm going to try and do them in the oven. All right. Let's put this in, see how she does. All right, next on the list, I hit myself with the sausage. I'm going to throw this just in my skillet in the oven. And then once those English muffins come out, I can put the bacon on there. My big pan. All right, I'm gonna get this in and then I'm gonna wash my hands and clean up my mess here. Alright, we got our cheeses grated. I got the pepper jack and then the garlic herb. This is really good. It's kind of like a Parmesan. So it's got like that sharp taste to it. Let's check the muffins. Those look pretty toasty to me. Yeah. It's up here and then let's get our bacon on here. Alright, put some foil down for easy cleanup. Now these ones come with a parchment paper here. Yeah, it's okay. All right, these are going in. I have my oven at 375 right now, and I'm just gonna put these in for a couple of minutes and we'll check them because these are pretty thin. Some sizzling on the sausage here. Put these back in. These hash browns looking. Not quite ready to fripp. I want these a little browner. Spray with some canola oil on top. Get that a little brown and back in. Alright, let's set a 5-minute timer to check. Alright, I got all my muffins. The sausage is almost done. Canadian bacon, we'll heat this up. This is pretty much already cooked, so you just kind of gotta warm it up. Give it some char, some color. Let's open these things up, see what we got in here. Oh, this one still smells like crab. Whew. So just little tiny 8 pieces. Alrighty, let's see. I don't think I'm gonna use these peppers and onions right now, so I'm gonna put these back. I think this is the last I can use this cutting board. Look at this. The whole thing's getting ripped apart. I could probably break it if I tried. Well, so much for this cutting board. Bummer. So let's get these opened. I wonder if I can just trim these. Let's see. Well, at least these don't smell like crap. Like the packaging does, but this doesn't. Yeah. There we go. So I'm just gonna cube these up. That's working pretty good. I'm gonna drizzle some olive oil on this. I think it needs a little extra fat to help it crisp up. All right, everybody, my plan for the eggs for the Egg McMuffins is to blend them, and so that way I can just get them all mixed up and scrambled really easily. And then I'm just gonna pour them on my 9x13 sheet pan and bake them in the oven. And then when they come out, I'll try and fold them like you do actually at McDonald's when they have their folded eggs. I've never tried this before, but it's better for me than sitting here and trying to make a big thing of scrambled eggs and round circle fried eggs and stuff. So we're gonna give this hack a try. So I have about 18 eggs in here. I'm gonna add about a 1/4 cup of water because I do find that mixing water instead of milk with eggs works fantastic. It kind of steams them as they cook, making them super fluffy. So I'll add a little bit of water to this. I'm also gonna go ahead and season them at this point. Some pepper, some salt, just to make sure that they are nice and seasoned. Okay. All right, let's give this a go. That's it. Scrambled eggs. All right, we're waiting for our hash browns to get done to put this on there. So let's get rid of this for now. All right, I went ahead and cut up all 20 of those thingamabobs, frittatas. So I cut up all 20 of those. So I am going to try and use this block of Velveeta as the cheese for my muffins. So let's see how that goes. I don't have a cheese knife. Let's see if I can get thin slices. I mean, thin-ish. They'll be fine. Yeah, they'll be fine.
Mom?
Yes?
Can you help me?
Sure.
I don't want to play this fluffy game anymore.
Okay. Just go right there.
Come on. No, it's on Talking Tom. And I don't know. Let's just make it start.
There you go. Is that right?
No.
Well, I don't know what else to do. It says level 1. Press the X. Is that what you wanted?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, usually pressing your X is the best bet. Well, they're a little thick. We'll see how those turn out though. It's hard to cut Velveeta cheese. All right, so right now we're about 1 hour and 15 minutes into our project. What I have left is the hash browns still need to come out. The bacon's almost done cooking. I have about 1 more round on that. All my prep work over here is done. I do need to make that French toast, but I think what I'm gonna do first is get these heated up, and then I could just assemble all of the sandwiches at one time. So I'm gonna work on that in the skillet while I keep rotating the bacon in and out, and then we'll get to assembling. Ay, ay, ay. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go ahead and call these hash browns done. They're pretty good to me. I'm gonna go ahead and salt them. Alright, now that this pan's free, I'm gonna spray it pretty good because we're gonna put our eggs on here. We had a bit of an accident. It's one way to get the eggs cooked, I guess. We've got the folded eggs, flat eggs in the oven. I have the bacon all done, Canadian bacon done, sausage done, hash browns are done. So we're gonna start assembling our burritos. Let's see, we're done with this for now. All right, let's do some hash browns. Some of our eggs here. Pepper jack cheese. And then we'll put chorizo in this one. I think I'm gonna go throw these in Chef Mike for like 30 seconds just to get them loosened up. All right, that's a little better. Hash browns. Egg. Chorizo. And pepper jack. Guys, the egg is done. It got a little poofy, but she's done and fluffy. So let's let this set. I'm gonna write CH on these for chorizo. And here's our flat egg. I have 10 sandwiches here. So let's see if I can cut it into 10 here. So I'll do half. Let's just cut it into 4, 12 here. This isn't too thin. Fold it like that. So we have muffin, egg, just fold it in thirds, piece of sausage, and our cheese top. Yeah, they got a little crispy, but that's all right. And there's our sandwich. Looks pretty good. Not bad for first time making homemade muffins. I'm just gonna keep assembling these muffins. Now, when I folded this one, I could see it was kind of thick, so I decided to tear it in half, and I ended up getting a lot of extra egg than I was planning, but that's okay. Nothing like having a little bit of extra and making as many sandwiches as possible, because I definitely had the extra English muffins. So I got those all wrapped up, and then I'm gonna put them individually in a gallon-sized bag so I can just grab them as I need them. Next, I'm going to be working on a Canadian bacon one, so I'm just putting some of those extra thin slices just down and not worried about folding them. And then I'm going to put some shredded cheese on there. I shredded the rest of that Velveeta block. These kids drive me crazy for so. Yeah. 5 burritos in this bag. I have each one labeled. We also have 5 burritos in this bag, so I got a total of 10 burritos, and then I ran out of hash browns. So that's the only thing keeping me from doing more. Now I could do more and just have more egg in there and not have a hash brown. I could cook more hash browns, but I think my steam's running out here. So then I have some English muffins. I got them a bit crunchy. So I have sausage in there, and then bacon and Canadian bacon in here. And then I did lose 2 to kids while cooking. So down 2 of them. And everything else is done. Everything's turned off for now. So I think I'm going to pick up a bit. I'm gonna make some lunch for the kids, and then we'll get back at it. But for now, I'm going to go put all these in my freezer. And then for lunch, I'm just serving them those chicken meatballs that we had in the crock pot, tater tots, mac and cheese, and some steamable carrots. Hey everybody, it is the next morning. I'm about to go wake up husband and get him up for the day. Whenever I say I'm going to come back and finish something after I take a break, just assume I'm not going to come back. So I got everything put away that I got done after I got the breakfast sandwiches and the burritos in the fridge, and then I'm going to be making the French toast for the kids after husband leaves. But I figured since we have these prepped ready to go, I'm curious how they turned out, husband's curious, you're curious, so let's just cook them up and we'll see how they turn out too. Hopefully they won't be soggy. That is my biggest concern. So I'm gonna get these in a microwave, plus this did get a little too crunchy. My bad. So this is gonna be for me. Husband can't have too crunchy of stuff. He got sensitive gums, you know. So I'm gonna heat up this for me, and then the chorizo one for husband, and we will see how these turn out. So I think what I'm going to do is get a paper towel and wrap it around a paper towel, and we'll put it in Chef Mike for like a minute and a half, and then we'll check it. Because this is completely frozen. Okay, so let's give that a try, and I'll bring it back and we'll try it together. All right guys, I just put it in for a minute and a half. It's steaming, you see that steam? Seems melty. I'm glad it didn't matter that that cheese was super thick. Is there a trick to cutting Velveeta off the block? Is that a band name? Velveeta off the block. Still a little cold in this one corner. Not completely frozen, but not hot. Mmm. Tastes good. Obviously, I wish I didn't burn the muffin. Wow. I'm gonna do my eggs like that from now on. I really like doing that. A lot better than sitting there flipping and turning. Oh, there's a burrito. Let me go check that. Same thing, I did the burrito for 1.5 minutes. Looks pretty good. It's steaming. Oh, that egg still feels cold. Okay. Some of it's still a little cold. I'm gonna go back in for 30 more seconds. Meanwhile, how you doing? Man, Ronald ain't got nothing on Mama Baird. Oh. It's almost like a sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddle, you know? Oh, that's good. I like it with that cinnamon raisin. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. All right, I gotta cleanse the palate with coffee. Like my RTDT mug. All right, that looks better. That looks better. All right, I'm gonna give this a bite just as is, and then I might add some salsa or some hot sauce. It's gonna be hot. Mmm. Wow. Definitely need some kind of sauce. I got some of this salsa I got from a friend I'm still trying to work through, so let's add some of this. I bet that'll be good. Okay. Dress strength. Oh gosh. Oh, I did it. I did it. Alright, there we go. Not roll very tight. You could sear it too, and that'll help keep it closed. Gotta remember this one's husband's. Oh yeah. Wow. I love chorizo so much. If you guys have not tried chorizo, you need to try it. Alright, well. Away we go for breakfast. And then once the kids are up, we'll make some French toast. For the French toast, I decided to do something a little different and do French toast sticks. So I'm taking that maple brown sugar bread and cutting it into just French toast sticks here, and then we are going to bread them all and try and fry them individually. I feel like if I were to use whole sticks, then they wouldn't be as French sticky-y. So I have a big supply of evaporated milk that I found that I need to use up, so I'm going to add some evaporated milk with just a little bit of water, just making a basic French toast batter. I got some sugar here, 2 tablespoons of sugar. I added vanilla, and then I'm going to add some pumpkin pie spice, and then I'm going to add about 6 eggs and give that a good mix. Just keep whisking, whisk up all those eggs. Make sure you break the yolk. Oh yeah, let's whisk, let's go. So now I'm going to just do it one at a time. I have my big flat cast iron griddle here. This was before my Vever griddle. That would have worked fantastic for this. But we're just gonna put these on here. I have a little bit of spray down. You could put butter down to help sizzle with them. However you normally make French toast. I'm just using my skillet pan here to try and make it fast. I don't use this pan too much though, because I feel like with it taking 2 separate burners to get hot, then the middle doesn't usually get as hot. But it's working very well for this one in this case. So I'm just going to go through batches, make a whole bunch of these, and then I ended up with a big plate full of French toast sticks that I could put in the freezer once they're all done. Oh yeah, those look good. So we have a new chicken, if you can see how small this little egg is. This is the very first egg they have laid, and we wanted to crack it open and see kind of what the inside looked like. So Betty Jan dropped it on the ground, so we're gonna open it up.
Oh!
Oh! You see it?
Oh, it's just yolk.
Yep, it's mostly just white, just very little yolk because it's so small. Oh. Well, that was cool. Does that count as 1 egg or half an egg or?
Half an egg.
Half an egg? Okay. It's half an egg. All right, good to know. I'm gonna make some sweet potato muffins because I pulled out some baked sweet potato puree from May of 21 that I need to use up. So I'm just gonna make some muffins, get that out of the freezer. I'm gonna say that's about 4 cups worth. All right, to the sweet potatoes, I'm gonna add 4 eggs here. Just get that mixing up. And then I need a cup of milk. I have some evaporated milk here that I'm trying to use up, so I'm just going to use it. 1 cup of milk. You can use a non-dairy milk in this as well. Then I'm going to add a little bit of vanilla, even though it doesn't call for it. I like putting vanilla in all of my baked goods. And then we need a cup of applesauce. I have some pear sauce I'm trying to use up, so we're just gonna do a cup of that. Next ingredient is 2/3 cup of a neutral oil or butter. So I have coconut oil here, but I only have enough for half a cup, so I'm gonna add just a little bit of canola oil I'm trying to use up, and we're going to add that to this. So now I need 1 1/3 cup of brown sugar. And then we're going to do 2 cups of flour. Well, 4 cups of flour total because we're doubling this. 4 cups of flour. 2 teaspoons of baking soda. 2 teaspoons of baking powder. 1 teaspoon of salt. And then I'm going to use my pumpkin pie spice in this because it has all those good flavors, fall flavors that go well with pumpkin and sweet potato. So I'm going to add a tablespoon of that in there. Actually, I'm going to add 2 tablespoons because I'm doubling it. There we go. All right, I think that's everything. Let's try and get this mixed up without making a mess. There we go. And there's our batter. Those little strings are just from the sweet potato. Sweet potatoes can be stringy sometimes. Okay. Looks pretty good. I have some cinnamon sugar here pre-made that I'm just going to put over the top. This adds a really crunchy finish to the muffin, so I highly suggest putting some sugar, like some coarse sugar, over the top of your muffins when you make them. It gives it that little extra bakery touch for a nice crispy top. There we go. I'm gonna bake these. I'm gonna start at 8 minutes at 325 and we'll check them. All right, the first round of sweet potato muffins are out. These took probably about 15 minutes. They look good. So we're gonna let these cool for about 2 minutes in the pan and then we'll take them out and do another run. I have a pack of these prime sirloins that I had to thaw because it had a hole in it and I wanna get these separated and refroze. So my plans for these, oh look at that steak. I should save one to cook, it looks delicious. But I was just gonna cut this into like strips and then we can use this for fajita meat. To make ourselves some steak fajitas, or we can make steak burritos. So I got all of them cut up except for one. I'm gonna cook one of them for me for breakfast. I have some hot pepper blackened seasoning I just have a little of I need to use up. So I'm just gonna put it on here. Get that rolled in that seasoning. Let that sit for a bit while my pan heats up. All right guys, I got a super hot pan. I'm just gonna put down a little bit of bacon grease. I had all this steak in there in one go and then decided that was too much in a pan. So I'm taking some out and then making sure that it's all level so I can sear it evenly. I'm just going to pre-cook this so I can make some burritos and finish making the steak burritos to get some of those in the freezer, so that way we have those. I figured I had this meat, I had it diced up already ready to go, so I might as well get it cooked off and get it made into stuff while I'm here cooking. Might as well. So I just cooked what I had in batches and then separated, and now we're going to make ourselves some burritos. I did take some of the sliced steak raw and vacuum seal it, so this will be used for the fajitas, and the rest we cooked and are using for our breakfast burritos. So I'm just going to go ahead and add some cheese, some of the egg mixture that I had left over, and then we're going to add the steak on top, and that's going to be our breakfast burrito. Ended up with 7 burritos. I fed one to husband for breakfast, so these are going in the freezer. And then I'm also going to send husband with some sweet potato muffins that I made this morning. So he'll get some fresh baked goodies in his bag as well. I ended up with 2 dozen sweet potato muffins to go into the freezer. And then we have a bunch over here that we can eat, and we've already ate a couple of them. So glad to get that sweet potato out of my freezer just to put it back in my freezer. Haha. I'm going to be working on some bacon gravy to have stocked up in the freezer as well. Like I said, I'm going on a trip, so I want to make sure that my husband and mother-in-law have plenty of food while I'm gone. And like I said, I found this stash of evaporated milk, so I'm going to use it to get the gravy made. My grandma, my mom's mom, used to make gravy this way with evaporated milk, and it's so good. So it feels good to go back and try that her way. So I have some of these pre-frozen biscuits that I got. I'm just going to put a damp paper towel over them and hit them in the microwave for about 2 minutes. Well, actually probably about a minute, and then I'll check them. And then once you steam your bacon like this, just in the lid from frozen, then it breaks up pretty easily. I also had someone give me a tip where if you just put that vacuum sealed bag in some warm water for a couple minutes, then it'll help loosen up the bacon already, so you don't really have to do this step. It'll skip it and save you a couple minutes of cooking time. I tried that after I did this, and it worked fantastic. So that's also a trick you can do if you need to thaw something frozen quickly that's already vacuum sealed. So here's the muffins after a minute and a half, and you can see they're super squishy and soft. That towel helped keep them from drying out but didn't make them too wet. So those are good and ready to go, and we're just going to keep focusing on our bacon here. I'm just going to cook all of this because I want to make as much as I can for a big batch. We're going to be having this for breakfast as well as making it for the freezer. So at this point, all my bacon is rendered, all of it's nice and crispy, that fat's in there, and I'm going to add flour to this. Sometimes you can take all the meat out that you're making and just add the flour to the grease, or if you don't have meat and you're just using the fat, then you don't have the meat in there. Obviously, you would just have whatever fat you're using to make a roux. So you just add equal parts fat to flour to make a roux. So I'm kind of eyeballing this because I don't know exactly how much fat's in there, but I'm going by the look of it. So I want it to be thick and kind of have a paste. So this is still a little runny. I'm just going to keep adding flour till I feel like it's thickened up and it can cook for a while. You really want the flour to be like a toasted golden color. You see the difference, and this one's kind of brown, it's toasted. That's what really brings out the nutty flavor in flour. So then start adding in whatever milk you're using. You could use shelf-stable boxed milk, you could use regular milk, you can use what I'm using, like evaporated milk. Just slowly add it in there a little bit at a time, and you can see that it instantly starts thickening. That's what the flour does. You can use a whisk to make sure that you don't get any lumps, but then the bacon kind of clogs up the whisk in my opinion, so I just am using this spatula to do it. I didn't get any lumps in this at all. As long as you just keep it moving, keep mixing it together as you're pouring more in, and then know that it will get thickened up with time the longer you cook it. So if it gets a little runny, that's okay, just keep cooking it and it will reduce back down. So I got 4 cans in here, and I'm going to kind of just test the consistency, see if it's the way I like it. If it's a little too thick, I might add some water because I think that'll help thin it out a bit, and that evaporated milk is pretty condensed, so that'll help loosen that up and it won't have such a thick flavor. But honestly, having evaporated milk is one of the creamiest ways that you can add to a sauce. So you can use it for mac and cheese, oatmeal, gravies are fantastic with evaporated milk. So I'm just hitting this up with a little bit of salt and pepper. You add whatever seasonings you feel will be right, what you like. This is peppered gravy, so I actually didn't add pepper. I lied. I just added salt to it because the pepper adds enough pepper to this. It might be a little too much for the kids too. So I'm just going to pour this on top, and we're having biscuits and gravy for breakfast. Now I waited for the leftover gravy to cool down because I really didn't want to put hot gravy in a plastic bag. So this is all cooled down, and after our breakfast, now I'm going to put it in a vacuum seal bag and just freeze it flat. I got this tip from one of you guys that if you're freezing a liquid, you kind of roll it up, get all the air out, roll up that top, and then pinch it with a chip bag. I have a clothespin here, and then lay it flat, and then you're going to freeze it like that. So it freezes all of the air out of it and has it clipped down, which is room for you to vacuum seal it. So I stuck them in the freezer like that. And this is after they've been in there for a couple of hours. They are frozen solid, and we're going to try and vacuum seal the rest of it out, and then that will make this completely sealed and freezer stable. So I really like that trick. If any of you guys have done this before, let me know, or if you have a trick in how to freeze liquids in vacuum bags, please let me know. I always like to give it a tug to make sure that that seal is good, and this one worked fantastic. So I'm just going to label it, say what it is, write the date on there because you want to remember when you put what in your freezer, because trust me, you will forget. And then here's just a quick shot of all of the biscuits I was talking about that I had in my freezer that I need to use up. So that's why I made a bunch of gravy, so we can just heat up some gravy and some biscuits for a really quick breakfast if we need it. So there's a couple of the breakfasts that I made to stock up my freezer. I tried those English muffins. Those are fantastic. They weren't soggy at all, and the burnt part of that actually softened up a bit, so it kind of worked out that they were extra toasty. Totally my plan. And then the burritos turned out fantastic. I do have to add sauce to them when they're done. Get out of here, cat. I do wish that I had my griddle already so I could have seared those. Cat, stop it. I do wish that I had my griddle already so I could have seared those and cooked the hash browns on them, but that's okay. You use what you have to get the job done. But if I would have invested in the equipment in that time, it really would have saved me a lot of time in getting this breakfast prepped. So if you haven't seen the review on the griddle, I'll leave that linked below. It's less than $100 with my discount code, guys, and I feel like a piece of equipment like that is worth the money and the investment for your kitchen to save you time. This cat's being What are some breakfast items that you like to have prepped in your freezer for an easy grab-and-go breakfast? Thank you so much for watching, guys. I appreciate every single one of you, and I'll catch you next time on Mama Beards.